Good afternoon, everybody. This is going to be another podcast where we're just going to be working right from our homeworks as another example. And so we are going to be starting with homework number 3. So go ahead and take that out, and I'm going to do a couple examples for you. We're going to be doing the same exact thing that you did in homework 2. However, the only difference on this one is that you are going to be writing our phases. You are going to be predicting if the products are aqueous, solid, liquid, or gas. Whereas in the last homework, it said it all in the wording. And so on the left-hand side, it'll tell you what the beginning phase is, but then at the end, you have to figure that out. Okay, so if we take a look at aqueous calcium bromide. So I'd look up on my gold sheet, calcium is +2, bromide is -1. So I need to crisscross that because calcium is a metal. So calcium bromide. And this is going to be 2, and it says that it is aqueous plus aqueous sodium sulfate. Sodium is +1, sulfate's -2. So this is going to be Na2SO4, and that's going to be aqueous. Then it says yields, so I draw my arrow for yields. On the right-hand side, I have calcium sulfate. So again, this is +2 and this is -2. So my formula is CaSO4 plus sodium bromide, which is +1 -1. So I have NaBr. Okay, so I do not know the phases of the ones on the right-hand side. So if you recall from class, we need to look at the anions. And remember, the anions are the second element that we are bonding there, or the second part. So if I take a look at sulfate for calcium sulfate, let's see if I can find it here, calcium sulfate. So I look at the sulfates, and they are right here. So hopefully you're looking at your cation anion sheet, and calcium is an exception. So calcium sulfate, I am going to write down that it is a solid. Then sodium bromide. So bromide is right here. It's aqueous except these exceptions, and I don't see sodium over there. So that one is going to be aqueous. So if we go back to our homework, we need to put in those phases. So we said that calcium sulfate is going to be a solid, and sodium bromide is going to be aqueous. Then the next step is I need to make sure that I balance. So if I balance this one, I can see that I have 2 bromine here on the left. So I need to make 2 bromine on the right by putting the number out in front. Remember, I can't split up the NaBr. So it's 2 sodium, 2 bromine. And then on the left-hand side, I have 2 sodium, so that works nicely. And I have 1 sulfate here and 1 sulfate here. So this is now balanced. Now I have to determine what type of compound I have. And if I take a look at this, you should recognize that this is a compound plus a compound. So if I take a look and start at the beginning and just kind of walk you through compound plus compound. Well, this is single plus single. That's not going to work. Decomposition, I have a single compound breaking down. That is not going to work. Single replacement, I have a single element and a compound. That is not going to work. Let's see. So we go down to double replacement. This looks like it might work. Compound plus a compound yields another compound plus a compound. So that should be very similar to the homework question that we were looking at. So this is going to be a double replacement reaction. All right, if you want to practice another double replacement, that would be number 2. That's going to be another double replacement. I do not want to use that one as an example since it's the same thing we just did. So let's do number 3. So here I have solid calcium carbonate. Again, calcium is +2, carbonate is -2. So it's going to be CaCO3, and it tells us that it's a solid, plus aqueous hydrochloric acid. So we have an acid, and we know that it's aqueous. All acids start with H. Yield, calcium chloride, which is +2 -1. So it's CaCl2 plus carbon dioxide plus water. Now, some of these you are not going to find on our solubility sheet. The only ones you're going to find are the ones that start with metals because they have a cation and an anion. So as I take a look at carbon dioxide, you are breathing out carbon dioxide right now. You need to think about what phase it's in at room temperature. And so carbon dioxide is going to be a gas at room temperature, water is going to be a liquid at room temperature. So the only one I don't know then what phase it is calcium chloride. So I need to go back and find my chlorides. And here it is. Here's my chloride. And calcium is not an exception over here, so that means it's going to be aqueous. So I can go ahead and write down, we're okay when I'm flipping through all of this, so this is going to be aqueous. So I wrote my equation. I put my phases in there. The last thing I need to do is I need to balance this. So if I take a look, I have 1 calcium, 1 carbon, 1 carbon. I have 3 oxygen. I have 2 plus 1. I have 3 oxygen. On the left, I have 1 hydrogen, but 2 on the right. So if I put a 2 in front of here, I get 2 hydrogen and 2 chlorine, which works out nicely because I have 2 chlorine right there. All right, that's it for this one. Hopefully this will go well. And the same thing as the last homework, you have 10 more to do. So you need to do 10 of the next 20, whichever ones you'd like to do. But I'm expecting you to do at least 10 examples so that you can get some practice. All right, have a wonderful night.